I suppose the challenge with it, working on any of these Marvel films, is coming up with a specific contained story and still having it fit into the Marvel universe at large.
When we started formulating what the story was going to be for Ant-Man and the Wasp, we realized we're really making a sequel to two movies, to Ant-Man and also to Captain America Civil War, because we couldn't ignore what had happened to Scott Lang in Civil War. So it really gave us a natural starting point for this movie.
Certain events have happened since the very first Ant-Man until the second one that we're doing now, Civil War being one of them. And so we had to address things that happened to my character in the interim, and then imagine what might have happened to other characters like Hope and Hank during that time as well.
Where we pick up with the second film, they were doing the kissy thing for a little while, and they were in a committed relationship. They loved each other. And then Scott ran off to Germany and had a costume party on a tarmac and decided that he didn't care if that affected our lives or if that ruined our life. And as a result, got himself arrested. And since that point, we have no longer been an item.
Change of plans.
I think one of the things that I like in sequels in general is when you pick up the characters from the first movie not at the exact point you left off in the first movie. Hank and Hope's relationship is really different in this movie than it was in the first movie. There was a lot of conflict between the two of them in the first movie. In this movie, they've resolved those issues, and she's a fully formed hero. And Hank and Hope are working incredibly well together. I think he's very proud of the fact that she's taken on the mantle of Wasp. And they're also partners in this scientific endeavor, which is to build this quantum tunnel with the hopes of maybe bringing her mother back.
My character, many years ago, got stuck in the quantum realm, and Hope and Hank set out to find her. I think they've never given up hope that she's still alive. And so throughout the film, it's really their journey and their struggle to find a way to bring her back.
Janet is a character in the comic books who's a really important character. She's one of the original Avengers. And when we were doing the flashback scene in the first movie, we didn't see Janet's face because she had the Wasp suit on and had the mask, but we did see her eyes. And I was thinking when we were figuring out who was going to double her in that movie, is like, you know, if we ever got to do Janet in a movie, Michelle Pfeiffer would be great. And I didn't know at that point we were going to make a second movie, much less one that dealt with Janet. But we did, and we went out to Michelle Pfeiffer, and I met with her and sort of walked her through the story, and I loved the idea of her being in this universe.
I'm playing a superhero. I think it's incredible, and I think the message that it sends to women of all ages and all demographics that, you know, we are still kicking ass, and that we're strong, and we're independent, and we're fierce and capable.
I somehow wound up with Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas playing my parents, and both being equally as incredible and consummate and lovely and competent and talented. And
the best thing about doing a sequel is the opportunity to work with the people you worked with before. So there's a familiarity. You don't have to go in like strangers and kind of feel your way out. There's a comfort factor with your director, Peyton Reed. You know him. He's not walking on eggshells about this actor, about me, or, you know, been around forever and all that. Same feeling with Paul and Evangeline now, who's the title is the Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she's getting a chance to really show her work.
It was exciting to have the chance to go back to this character and play her in a new space, in a space that was not so guarded and jaded and cold, but was warmer and more at ease in her own skin. It was a pleasure doing business with you, Sonny.
I love doing stunt training. I've done it in the past. I always come in and I'm gun-ho. I'm always like, I will do as much as I can. As soon as it starts getting really dangerous and you feel uncomfortable with me doing it, then I'll step out. But no, 100%, I jump in head first, because it's so important to bring, as an actor, the physicality to, you know, the character. You have to do that.
The Wasp costume that you saw at the end of the first film was an old prototype from the 1980s. So people have been chattering online saying, wait a minute, the costume we're seeing Evangeline wearing, it looks totally different. And of course it does, because technology has evolved. I updated the suit with my father. We made a new one based on the prototype that fit Hope's needs for this day and age. I did 4 months of fittings, to get that suit perfect. You know, the one thing I told the costumer when we started was, I don't care how long it takes, I don't care how long I have to be in this room with you, we will make this suit perfect.
The way that my character moves, as soon as I put the suit on, it made me move in a certain way. And I incorporated that with the style of fighting and with the powers that she has.
You know, one of the things that I really like about playing this character is that he is thrown into these extraordinary circumstances. I mean, truly. Shrinking and flying around on ants and entering quantum realms and life-threatening stuff. And yet, one thing that we've always tried to sustain, when I say we, I mean me, because I speak of myself in plurals, is this way of dealing with everything with a little bit of a sense of humor and not giving into the threat, but kind of a carefree attitude about it. And that's fun to do.